Okay, so have you ever found yourself staring at a product label, maybe in the supermarket or the bazaar? What does half of this even mean? Or perhaps, what isn't on the label? Well, welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take a full heap of using information, and boil it down into clear, useful insights just for you. Our mission really is to pull out the most important bits of knowledge, the things you need to know, and turn all that data into a clear path so you can be genuinely well-informed. We'll throw in some surprising facts, maybe a little bit of humor too. Keep things interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And our insights today, they're coming from a really interesting snapshot. It's Trends and Developments from July 21st, 2025. We're pulling from the commentary found on Consumers 360, which bases its stuff on the consumers.app website. It's brilliant, actually. It grabs news from all over, sorts into key consumer topics.
And we've got quite the mix for you today. We're going from your bathroom cabinet to your fast food habits and even touching on the future of health and wellness. So let's jump right in. First up, this big headline it's definitely making waves in the beauty world. A new eco-labeling system. This one's originally from Edie, and it says, beauty giants, including L'Oreal and Nivea, to roll out new eco-labeling system.
Right, and this is pretty significant. It's not just another sticker on a bottle,
Yeah.
The whole point is to give you, the consumer, really clear, transparent information, comprehensive info about a product's environmental footprint. Think of it like a guide, helping you pick stuff that lines up with your own values, maybe. And it pushes the whole industry to, clean up its act, basically. Adopt more sustainable practices. And if you connect that to the bigger environmental picture, there's this whole issue with PPCPs. That's pharmaceuticals and personal care products.
PPCPs, okay.
Yeah, think about everything we use daily. Shampoos, soaps, even medicines. When they go down the drain, where do they end up?
Right, into the water system.
Exactly. They're being found in rivers, lakes, oceans. And the worry is they don't just vanish. They can be toxic. They hang around for a long time. That's persistence. And they can build up in wildlife, like fish. That's bioaccumulation. And that could potentially circle back to us. Plus, standard sewage treatment often doesn't get rid of them completely. It's serious enough that the EU, for instance, they've labeled pharmaceutical residues as priority substances. That tells you something.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not just about the packaging, it's the actual stuff inside and where it goes afterward. Yeah, that makes you think. So turning back to what's in the products then, what about our own health? Does recent research, maybe from PubMed, flag any concerns about cosmetic ingredients?
Oh, absolutely. Some recent studies are showing that certain synthetic ingredients, the stuff often used in cosmetics, can cause issues like allergies or skin irritation for some people. And because quite a few people seem to be having reactions, it really pushes the need to find safer, maybe more natural alternatives. Beyond just irritation, though, there's research suggesting that, long-term exposure to certain chemicals found in cosmetics might lead to more serious health effects down the line, which just underlines why having clear, honest labels is so, so important for your safety.
That is a sobering thought, definitely. Makes those labels feel even more critical. But okay, let's be real. We get bombarded with labels. How effective is this new labeling, really? Is it actually going to help us make better choices, or is it just more noise? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But there is research, like a study on something called a scale score label. It suggests that when you combine information like both nutrition and environmental impact on one label, it genuinely seems to empower people. You, the consumer, can make more informed choices, more sustainable ones. These labels clearly show the benefits, both for you and the planet, and yeah, that can definitely nudge people towards buying differently. And look, this isn't just about goodwill. We're talking a $170 billion global industry here. When massive companies like L'Oreal and Nivea make a move like this, it's a huge signal.
Yeah, that's a big shift.
It really shows that your choices, your purchasing power. It genuinely shapes what these companies do. Sustainability becomes something they have to do for business, not just, a nice to have.
It sounds really promising, a great step. But implementing something on this scale, it can't be simple. What are the main roadblocks? What makes getting an effective eco-label system up and running so tricky?
You're right. It's definitely challenging. I'd say the big hurdles are, first, ensuring the information is actually accurate and transparent, like really trustworthy. Then there's consumer awareness, making sure you actually know what these labels mean and why they matter. Industry compliance, another one, getting everyone on board. And, crucially, we need standardized criteria, a common yardstick to measure environmental impact accurately across different products and brands. Getting all that requires a lot of teamwork, regulators, companies, consumer groups, all working together. But the potential benefits are huge. If this works, we're looking at a smaller carbon footprint for the industry, less waste, fewer harmful chemicals being used. By giving you clear info, these labels boost demand for greener stuff, pushing manufacturers to clean up their production too.
Okay, so potentially transformative for our beauty routines. Now let's switch gears. From what we put on our bodies to, well, what we often put in them, especially when we're grabbing a quick bite. We've got this headline from Eat This, Not That. It's maybe making me rethink my lunch plans. 5 fast food burgers with questionable ingredients. So what are we talking about here? Let's start with mono and diglycerides. What are those?
Okay, mono and diglycerides, they're super common food additives, emulsifiers technically. They're used all over the place. Bread, ice cream, processed foods, mainly to improve the texture, make things last longer on the shelf, keep things stable.
Right.
Now, regulatory bodies like the FDA in the US, EFSA in Europe, they generally say they're safe.
Yeah.
But the main worry, the thing for you to know, is they can sometimes contain trans fats as a byproduct of how they're made.
Ah, okay. The trans fat connection.
Exactly. And we know trans fats are linked to health problems, so agencies keep an eye on them, monitor the levels, and push manufacturers to minimize those trans fats. But yeah, they're in a lot of stuff.
Okay. And the article also mentions caramel color. We see that everywhere, gives things that nice brown look. What's the story there? Any health concerns?
Caramel color. Yeah, it's basically burnt sugar, used to color loads of foods and drinks. The issue, or the potential issue, comes down to how some types are made. If they use ammonia in the process, it can create a compound called 4-MeI. And some animal studies have linked 4-MeI to cancer.
Oh, wow.
Now, the exposure levels for most people through diet are generally thought to be pretty low, but it's definitely something regulators are watching closely. It's one of those ingredients that's under ongoing scrutiny.
That's definitely food for thought, excuse the pun.
Yeah.
Are there alternatives then, especially for things like emulsifiers, ways to make fast food maybe a little less questionable?
Yeah, researchers are definitely looking into alternatives. For emulsifiers, one promising area is biosurfactants.
Biosurfactants.
Yeah, they're derived from natural sources, often made by microbes. They're biodegradable, potentially less risky than the chemical ones. The catch. Right now, they're pretty expensive to produce, so you don't see them much in mass market fast food yet. And for caramel color, well, the safety studies on 4-MeI are ongoing, and regulators keep evaluating the science. But what's really interesting here is the consumer angle.
How so?
Your awareness, collectively, about food additives has had a huge impact. The demand for more transparency, for healthier options, it's directly pushed companies to change their recipes. They're reducing artificial stuff, using more natural ingredients, making labels clearer, all because you are paying attention and asking for it. It really shows how consumer choices drive change in the food industry.
That's actually really empowering to hear. Our choices matter. Okay, let's shift again. Moving to an area where, gosh, transparency and science feel even more vital. The future of care, specifically around pregnancy, babies, skin health. This headline is from Global Cosmetics News. Innovating Pregnancy and Baby Care, the Future of Beauty in 2025. What innovations are we talking about?
This is about a real push for higher safety standards, like much stricter rules and safer ingredients in products for pregnancy and babies. You've got companies, Skin to Skin is one example, who are actually creating new safety certifications just for these products. They're also pushing to update old, outdated toxicology testing methods. The whole idea is to make sure these products are truly safe and suitable for the unique needs during pregnancy and for infants, minimizing exposure to anything potentially harmful.
That sounds like fantastic progress. But I imagine studying exposures during pregnancy must be incredibly tricky, especially using real-world data. Are there specific challenges there?
Oh, absolutely. It's very complex. And you hit on a key issue, the data. There's research highlighting things like selection bias. What that means is sometimes studies might miss certain pregnancies, maybe ones where the outcome wasn't fully recorded even if the person got care. This can skew the results, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
So the suggestion is to use things like records of prenatal care visits to identify pregnancies more accurately, fill in those gaps, and make the research stronger. But here's where tech comes in, and it's quite exciting. Machine learning, AI, is being used now in high-risk pregnancy care.
Really? How?
Researchers have built systems using algorithms that can actually help predict potential complications before they happen. They help care managers spot patients who might be at higher risk. Early results show this AI-assisted approach is actually better than some traditional methods. It's like a human-AI team working together.
That is genuinely fascinating. Using AI to potentially improve outcomes. Wow. And thinking bigger picture, how do these kinds of advances help with health equity, making sure everyone benefits?
That's a huge focus now. There are new frameworks being developed for research, like one called ETI. It stands for Explore, Tailor, Implement, and Evaluate. Basically, it's a guide for researchers to make sure their studies are diverse and fair. They need to consider biological sex, age, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, everything. The goal is to ensure that health breakthroughs actually work for all populations, not just, a select few. Now, figuring out the precise effects of exposures in early pregnancy, still tough, mainly due to data gaps, but better methods are being developed. And ultimately, stronger regulations are key, forcing stricter safety testing, making sure companies follow updated standards that directly protects pregnant women and babies across the board.
Okay, really important work happening there. Let's move to another skin-related topic, something that affects a lot of people, eczema. This headline from Cosmetics Business announces a global first microbiome-friendly standard for eczema-prone skin. Tell us about this My Microbiome Derm Standard Eczema. What makes it a breakthrough?
Yeah, this My Microbiome standard is indeed a world first. It's the first standard specifically designed to certify that products for eczema-prone skin are actually supportive of the skin's natural microbiome.
The microbiome. Right, the tiny ecosystem on our skin. Why is it so crucial for eczema?
It's incredibly important. Your skin microbiome, all those bacteria, fungi, viruses living on your skin, plays a massive role in keeping it healthy. It acts like a protective shield against harmful microbes. It helps regulate your immune system's response in the skin, and it strengthens the skin barrier itself. For someone with eczema, having a balanced, healthy microbiome can mean fewer infections, less inflammation, better healing, essentially better management of the condition, and hopefully fewer flare-ups.
So nurturing those tiny skin residents is key. Is there solid science behind this, like using probiotics to help eczema? Or is it still mostly theoretical?
No, there's definitely science emerging. Studies are looking into it. For example, one study by Zhang and colleagues showed that certain types of probiotics, when taken orally, could actually reduce the incidence of allergic diseases, which are often linked with eczema. That particular study found lower rates of respiratory infections and positive changes in gut bacteria, suggesting a benefit. So it's promising, but, and this is important for you listening, the science isn't totally conclusive yet for all probiotics and all eczema. It's not a magic bullet, so don't just rush out and buy any probiotic supplement. It's really best to talk to your doctor or dermatologist to see if it might be appropriate for your specific situation. Results vary a lot.
That's a really crucial point, thanks. So if the microbiome is this important, how do current eczema products stack up? Are they generally missing the mark? And where does this new standard fit in?
Well, many existing products, the creams and lotions you typically find, they focus mainly on moisturizing the skin, reducing dryness, and maybe calming inflammation, which is helpful, of course. But they might not be actively supporting the microbiome. Some might even disrupt it unintentionally. So this new My Microbiome standard, it aims to bridge that gap. It guides companies to formulate products that are tested and proven to maintain and support a healthy skin microbiome. That could offer a more holistic way to manage eczema. And for the companies making these products, getting the certification helps their products stand out. It appeals directly to consumers like you who are looking for skincare solutions backed by science. Of course, developing these products isn't easy. The skin microbiome is incredibly complex. It takes a lot of research, specialized testing, and that might mean these products could be a bit more expensive, at least initially.
Understandable. Given that complexity, what's next? What kind of future research could really deepen our understanding of this skin microbe connection?
Oh, there's loads still to explore. Future research could really zero in on identifying the specific strains of bacteria or other microbes that are most beneficial for skin health in conditions like eczema. Also, looking deeper into how different topical ingredients interact with the microbiome. And the ultimate goal, maybe truly personalized skincare. Imagine getting recommendations based on your unique skin microbiome profile. That could lead to much more targeted and effective treatments down the road.
Personalized skincare based on our microbes. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, final topic. Let's talk about something that, it kind of creeps up on all of us as we get older, our strength, our muscle health. This headline from The Hindu puts it bluntly. Are you losing strength year on year? Time to check your muscle health. What exactly are we talking about here? Sarcopenia? Is that something we all need to worry about?
Sarcopenia. Yeah, it's basically the age-related loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. The key thing to understand is that it's primarily linked to getting older. It's different from, say, cachexia, which is also muscle wasting, but usually happens because of severe diseases like cancer. Cachexia is much harder to fight. Sarcopenia, though. While it's a natural part of aging for many, the good news is you can take steps to slow it down or lessen its impact.
Okay, that distinction is important. We can do something. So what works? What's the connection between, say, exercise, what we eat, even how well we sleep?
There's really strong evidence showing a synergy, a combined effect between resistance exercise like lifting weights or using resistance bands, getting enough protein in your diet, and getting good quality sleep.
The three-legged stool you mentioned earlier for something else.
Huh? Yeah, maybe. They all work together to boost muscle protein synthesis, basically, building and repairing muscle. Getting enough protein, especially timing some of it before sleep, seems particularly helpful for older adults in fighting off that age-related muscle loss. It really improves how your muscles adapt and function. And just to add, some research is identifying specific risk factors too. Like one study looked at Asian populations after weight loss surgery and found that having a high BMI before surgery and being of Indian ethnicity were linked to lower muscle strength afterwards. This highlights that certain groups might need extra attention to preserve muscle.
That's really practical advice everyone can think about. Are there new ways to detect sarcopenia early? Maybe before you even notice you're feeling weaker.
Yes, technology is making strides here too. There are innovative methods using things like AI and imaging. Imagine AI learning what healthy muscle looks like on a scan, and then automatically spotting subtle signs of muscle loss or changes in quality, often much earlier than you'd feel it. It's a promising tool for early detection. But detection is one thing. Prevention and management are key. And nutrition is critical. Getting enough protein is paramount. Studies show high whey protein supplements, especially those enriched with leucine, combined with resistance exercise, significantly help older adults build and maintain muscle mass and strength. And this really matters from a public health perspective. Sarcopenia isn't just about feeling weak. It dramatically increases the risk of falls, fractures, and general disability in older people. It's a major contributor to frailty, reduced quality of life, and higher healthcare costs. So catching it early and intervening is absolutely vital.
Wow. Okay. We have covered a lot of ground today. Seriously. From decoding beauty labels and peering into fast food burgers to the amazing innovations in pregnancy care, the secrets of our skin's microbiome, and what keeping our muscles strong as we age is so crucial.
Yeah, it's quite a range. But what's fascinating, I think, is how it all comes back to a central idea, doesn't it?
Which is?
That having the information, understanding what's going on beneath the surface, whether it's an ingredient list, an environmental impact, or how your body works, it really empowers you. It lets you make better, more informed choices about your health, the environment, to your everyday life.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope you found these insights helpful and maybe even a little surprising. So, as you head back into your day, here's a thought. What's one label, one ingredient, perhaps one small daily habit that you'll look at just a little bit differently now?